the way over, I was telling you about Viola,
Yes.
and how she just received her EGOT recently.
Right. Right. Right.
So for anybody that doesn't know, in the performing arts world, an EGOT is when a performer has an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony.
Oh
So
wow.
they've been granted all of those awards, so they're considered EGOTs.
The
Um,
goats,
th-
the greatest of all times.
Ideally,
Type of.
that's what it
That's what the
should
awards
stand for.
represent.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And ideally, that's what a person who receives an EGOT should be looked at for.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not mistaken, Viola is one of three Black women to ever have been granted the EGOT status.
Okay.
The first was Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
The second, whom I'm impartial to, I'll probably get some naysayers about this, Jennifer Hudson,
Wow.
and now
Wow.
Viola Davis.
Wow. Okay. I didn't see Jennifer Hudson.
No, I shouldn't say nobody, but not taking away from her talent.
Yeah.
She's very talented. But for me, the level of talent that you need to receive those awards has to be at the top of your game.
Yeah.
Like Whoopi, an amazing actress,
Right.
won I believe her Grammy for her comedy specials.
Okay.
Oscar, Tony,
Tony, right? So the Tonys, because that,
Antoinette Perry Awards
what is that?
for Broadway.
Oh, okay. So like, okay, so Tonys are for Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Tonys are like the Oscar equivalent to live theater production.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I was always, because so like a lot of these award shows come on one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always confused about, all right, cool, we understand like Oscars or whatever, or are for motion picture,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I never knew what Tonys were. I know there's like the SAG Awards,
Mm-hmm.
but like, so like the idea was, okay, what's more important? Like if I had all of these, right, how do I organize it in my award case, right? So obviously some people, I guess it's also personalized too, right? Because I guess before, like maybe a couple years ago, I have my little gripes about the BET Awards, but some people will put that above everything else, right? Because what it represents.
Yeah.
Right. So some people Oscars, right? What it represents, right? So my favorite actor is Will Smith.
Keep his wife's name. Keep his wife's name out your mouth. As long as you do that, you'll be safe.
Right.
As long
right.
as you do that, you'll be safe.
Right. So what I'm saying, yeah. So Big Willie was definitely idol of mine, right? Just watching him as a youth growing up, and everything that he transitioned to, right, to where he is now, right, and how he got to fame, and I have his book. I'm ashamed to say I haven't read it yet, but I have the book. I bought the book. Just everything the things that he went through publicly to get to where he's at.
Okay.
I think it's amazing, right?
Okay.
Just from a kid, what I'm saying, from West Philly, what I'm saying, just around, was homegrown, and got an opportunity and did what he did with it. I was happy to see that he got an Oscar. Okay. However, how he got the Oscar in the manner of that night, obviously, it was wasn't to the liking of a lot of people, right? It was an embarrassment, to oneself. But yeah, so like somebody like that, I think he would cherish like an Oscar over a Grammy, which he has also.
Yeah.
So or maybe not, because I mean, because both of his careers in music and in film, even though the film panned out, has made him the fame and the money has come from the film, but musically he was still good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He was very good. So, I don't know. Wherever his heart lies. But yeah, so I was always like wondered, okay, how would you, if I had all these awards and I'm putting it in a case, how would I stack them, right? Like, you know, it's
I
even
think
like
it also, when it comes to that, it's the projection of what they want their career to be. Because for me, when it happens,
right.
an Oscar, that has been my goal and dream since I was like 6, 7 years old.
Nice.
Because for me, like, and as we'll discover throughout this podcast, like I've been training since, and like the performing arts, since I was like 7 years old. So the structure, the art form, the technique that goes into acting is something that I cherish above everything. Like, yes, I'm a singer, yes, I'm a dancer, but I always consider myself an actor who can do all of those things very well, as opposed to a singer who can act or a dancer who can act and sing.
Because those are like distinctly different.
Yeah. I can
you can
literally
tell.
like, and I can do all of them very well and pretty evenly.
Yeah.
But for me, the passion comes from the acting. So Will Smith's okay. Like he's a decent actor, but to hear like, and I appreciate your thoughts on his journey and how he got there, because I respect that, and that, yes, I give him all of his props from coming where he came from to getting to the status that he is now.
Right.
But for me, as somebody who has studied the technique of acting and really has had the blood, sweat, and tears in it, watching him perform is a performance to me.
Right. So
And-
it's literally him, right? He's not, because I remember you, like, I want you to touch on this too, because I remember you really explaining this to me about like a lot of people whose favorite actors, you wouldn't really put them in a box as an actor because they don't transform the role, right? They're themselves, right?
There's performing and then there's acting.
Right.
And I think for a lot of people who aren't necessarily in the world of acting or performing and understand that there's actually a technique to acting. It's not you just getting in front of people and saying words. Like there's so much more into it. Like you have to figure out the DNA of this person to become them and translate that to audiences. So there are some actors and performers that are at the top of their game that I respect for what they do and where they are. But to me, it's that person doing a character as opposed to me seeing a completely fleshed out character on stage. I love Taraji. For a long time, I saw Taraji on stage giving characters, but it wasn't until Hidden Figures that I saw a completely fleshed out character, and I wasn't looking at Taraji P. Henson.
So let me ask you this, right? Is that a component of the director as well?
I think sometimes directors and people who cast films want who they want. And I'm not saying that their decisions are bad or anything. It's just my personal taste for somebody that especially comes from the live theater world, which is completely different than film and television. The acting techniques are also very different. But for film and television, sometimes they want the person to shine through.
Right.
And that's okay. Like, and that's how they make their money. Like, that's how they get the audiences to come in, because they're seeing the person that they love say these lines. Just for me personally, as an actor and somebody that enjoys the art and technique of it, that's just not enough for me. Like, I can watch it and enjoy it for the face value of it, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, this really had a lot of emotional depth to it. Like, this character is transcended past their actor.
Yeah.
Like, for me, my favorite actress of all time is Meryl Streep.
Okay.
And I will fight anybody that says that she is not the best actress out there. Because for me, when I see Meryl Streep in any film,
you're not
she
seeing
is not
Meryl
Streep.
She's that character.
She is the exact character. You forget. You might notice every now and then, oh yeah, that's Meryl Streep.
You
But you're
forget
not
who that is.
looking at her saying, oh, this is Meryl Streep. You get lost in her character because she develops the character. She puts herself to the back and lets the character speak through her, as opposed to her speaking through the character.
Yeah, that's, and I agree with you, like, because even and I can, just by watching Will Smith in a lot of his movies, you know, he is Will Smith. Upon being like, so the difference between Mike Lowry and the genie, right? And Aladdin is, the context of what the story is, because he's Will Smith in both iterations, right? In both characters, right? And those characters are two distinctly different characters, or performances, right? So, well, not performances, but two different characters. But it's almost like the same performance,
Yeah.
right? Because he is Will Smith. You know that that's Will Smith, and a lot of that too is like, because how he is outside of the film world, right, and who he is, his stardom. That's who. That's just who he is, right? Same thing with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Right. Kevin Hart is the same from the first moment you seen him on a comedy stage, like, right. So he's become, you've seen a lot more of his personal self, like on social media, like on Instagram, how, like, as far as like him opening up about, a lot of his situations, and but when you see him in a movie, it's literally him. I think the movie that he had on Netflix with Wesley Snipes, or was it a series? Might have been a series that he had on Netflix with Wesley Snipes. It was a cool performance. It was him trying to be very serious, him taking it like on a very serious role. But it still was Kevin
Which for
Hart.
him, he does.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take away from what, like I said, what Will Smith does, because Will Smith finds depth for Will Smith. But I think it's hard when the persona of the person is what becomes famous about them, not necessarily their art form.
Yeah.
Like, people aren't like, and I'll bring Meryl Streep back. People aren't looking at Meryl Streep walking down the street, like, expecting Meryl Streep to be something. Meryl Streep is a person.
Right.
But she's an amazing actress. She is known for her characters, not her persona or her personality. Whereas, like, Will Smith, Kevin Hart, Taraji, like, some of these prominent actors and pillars in our community are personas who have the ability to act, but because the persona is so strong, they can't translate that into a lot of different characters for me personally.
So I just like, because I find that really intriguing, and for a number of accounts, because you start to think about, and I like when you said like our community, right? You start to think about the actors per se that are from our community, right? Like a Jesus Christ, his name is escaping me right now. Oh my God, British, but he's black. Idris Elba, right? Will Smith, I don't think, went to school for acting.
No.
He didn't go to university. So, but those guys did, right? So, and like, you can throw Denzel in the mix, right? I believe who went to school, right? He went, so a lot of his crafts, even though he's another one. He's like
Denzel is Denzel.
Right.
Denzel is an amazing actor.
Right. So
Denzel is
he has
that
dichotomy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He has that dichotomy where it's like, okay, yeah, you know what? That's Denzel. But you know what I'm saying? That's also exactly that's also Alonzo. You know what I'm saying? So so going back to your Meryl Streep point, like those people of that ilk, they actually go to school to learn these things and to develop the craft. Sure. So whereas then you have you have people like Will Smith and Kevin Hart who didn't. Not to say that I'm sure that these guys have acting coaches, and I'm not, and even
they have to.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you know what I'm saying, and they have amazing, you know what I'm saying. Obviously, they already have amazing raw talent, right, to be in front of a camera and to do what they do. And I don't want to discredit Will Smith's performance. Like I said,
exactly.
It's my favorite.
And again, I'm not taking away from what he does.
Yeah.
But there are levels to this.
Right.
Like there are really levels to it. And Will Smith is a great actor, and I hate to say it this way, but for what he does.
Yeah.
I'm not, there's not a world that I'd necessarily switch Will Smith's characters with something like an Idris Elba would do. Like, I couldn't necessarily see them swapped.
Well, because they tried. And me being a nerd, I know that because you had 2 iterations of the Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah, true.
Will Smith is in one, and Idris Elba is in the other. Idris Elba isn't the one that most people love. So yeah. But like I said, Will Smith does have great performances, right? Like The Pursuit of Happiness
Yes.
was really good. I like that. 7 pounds was okay. I think I think the other one was a Concussion.
I
Like
actually enjoyed Hancock. Like
Hancock.
I
Yes.
enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed.
But I
that
can
movie.
see that like Will Smith being like a drunken superhero.
Yeah.
You know. Like also so I haven't seen Emancipation yet.
Okay, I haven't.
Yeah. That's his newest movie that he did amidst all of his controversy. I haven't seen that yet. I'm excited to give that a try and see, because it looks like a very, very intriguing role. I think he's playing a slave who has been freed during the emancipation period with Abraham Lincoln and what have you. So yeah, I'm extremely excited about that. But yeah, I'm also looking to get into the film world. I do like what they call the silver screen, the small television. I like the big blockbuster movies as well. I just if it's gonna do it for me, because I'm such a nerd, it has to be like Marvel or DC. Like I can see me playing, like, I want to play Virgil. If you don't know what that is, that's Static Shock. All right, that was one of my favorite kid superheroes growing up. Obviously, my dreads got a little longer, so But
Funnily enough, that was my Halloween costume inspiration. Like I wanted
really
to be
Static Shock. Oh my god! And
So
it's not hard to pull off either. Like, cause his literal, like, when he was making his suit, it was just like, hogbosh, like put everything together. You know what I'm saying? And then I think he either spray painted or painted like his shirt, or he found his shirt or whatever with the bolt symbol or whatever on it. So but yeah, so like, I do want to, like, dive deep into that, and then I don't know, schooling, because I did attempt to go to what's the school in the city, man, that's escaped me. It is the school in the city I attempted to go to after the military, because I was still like, I wanted to get into the entertainment business. And
was it the American Academy for Dramatic Arts?
It was literally in the city next to
4-year school, or was it like a 2-year?
2-year. It was 2-year school. They have one in New York and they have one in LA.
AMDA?
What is AMDA?
The American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
No.
No?
I got man, I think my mom might still have like all those like folders and stuff like that I used to get from them. But yeah, I tried I wanted to go there. However, when you get out of the military and you complete your 4-year term, you get the equivalent in the GI Bill, right? And I think you obviously about this as well. And then you have to get out with you have to get an honorable discharge or whatever to get like your full benefits. So what happened was, what was a downfall for me, I thought, was I was expecting. Right, I was expecting for things to happen afterwards. So what they said to me was, it's a 2-year school. However, the price is equivalent as a 4-year college. So, and then there's no guarantee of a job, right? So I'm like, okay, well, there's no guarantee of a job. It's not worth me, instead of learning the craft and then having the mental fortitude to say, all right, no, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna make something out of it. And so I left that opportunity alone. But when I toured the school, it was amazing. Like, you had all these like it looked like inside of a movie when people are having acting classes, where you're in this classroom setting. People are all sitting in like a half circle. You have that, people have some scripts or whatever, and then you're just like,
that's how it
is. You're going back and forth, right? And even like you have even some impromptu, you know what I'm saying, scenarios, situations. It was really, really cool. Sometimes I think about like, oh, well, maybe what if I stayed? But then, it's like, okay, cool. Because there's opportunities now, right, that we're getting that, I'm excited for the future and that journey. And we'll see. And I think acting is also one of those things that
your co-host is one of the best coaches out there.
Hey, listen. Yeah, hey, guys, I've been trying to get Dion, right, to get his production company going, right? This guy has a script ready,
I got a couple.
and y'all here just bull jiving.
The bull jiving to the max. But funny enough, when you were talking about wanting to be Static Shock, I was thinking I could write you a character. I
Oh
could
yeah.
easily write you a character.
Oh, I mean, you know, and listen, all right, I can make my profile or whatever you need to be. You know what I'm saying? We get out there and you know, we get it done. Like, we can
Actually,
definitely get it done.
I already have something in mind that we can talk about. I ain't putting my business out there for y'all ninjas to steal it. But I definitely have something in mind for the Orishas.
The Orishas?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
The African deities.
Oh. Okay.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, I already
because
have something in
so
mind.
Yo, dude, hold up. Because so I'm a nerd, right? But what? So
we're
okay,
just
okay,
nerd about
all right. So yeah,
things.
all right, cool. All right, so I like Greek mythology, Roman
Absolutely.
mythology. You know what I'm saying? Like you know they put it in our brains. Like this is how things start. Like you know, and they make it really
the
interesting and cool.
Origin story.
Right. Love them.
Mm-hmm.
I've had have we spoke about this? Where like where are the African like the gods, right?
There's a lot of them.
I know that, right? And there's so many like videos on YouTube and stuff like that. Some are the people who are speaking about them are so passionate, you know, so whereas it make it sound like a little heretic, you know, or they're a little what do you call them? This is with a Z. Zealot, a person who was frantic and uncompromising in pursuit of their religious, political, or other ideas. Yeah.
I know a thing or two about a thing or two.
So they're so you know these people are zealots, right? Because they like believe them to a fault, and you know what I'm saying, more power to them. Just like those, what do you call us? Those the people who love zodiac signs. Oh God, you know everything they do in the world is you know pertaining to
they live by
the
so stars.
You know they're so I've always thought about that. I was like, why isn't it there's a TV show about Vikings, there's a TV show about, you know, Romans and Greek mythology.
Stop right there. You're going to give people my business. You're going to give people my business.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah. So those are my thoughts. And like sidebar, like speaking about stars, like I fucking love me some Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like I watched this guy, listen to this guy, you know, frequently, almost every night.
Whatever he says is fact.
I swear
whatever he says is fact.
I swear. That's when he started talking about coronavirus. I said, "Yup, that's it. He got it. He nailed it." You know, like it is. I remember he was just talking random like about like cars and stuff like that, and like the actual fastest speed of a car, and I'm just like, "Yup, that's it. That's it." I don't even like the guy drives, but that's it. He just knows. He just knows. Whatever is up there in the stars, he just knows. I know to go to him. He's my personal astrophysicist.
Right? As soon as I get a couple dollars, I'm be like, "Sir."
Yeah. Create me. I need you to build me a spaceship now. I want to go to Jupiter. The fuck?
Jupiter.
Yeah, I have no idea why. For whatever reason, they have hundreds of moons that make no sense to me. Maybe I should ask them that first before I send my ass to Jupiter. Yeah, I don't think we would want to go closer to the sun.
Well, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't
that
think.
Just sounds like
I don't think.
Burning,
I don't think. I want to say Phoenix. Venus is habitable at all. I mean, none of them are yet, but.
Or, and this can be a topic for another day, but is it that they're not inhabitable yet, or have they already been inhabited and those
destroyed?
Are destroyed planets?
That's a really good question. I never thought about that. Because how old is the universe, right? I'm sure there's facts out there. Like I'm sure I could find a fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson video.
But true, but also to that point, nobody really knows.
We know what we know.
Like we know as much as science allows us to know. But
right. Yeah, we're finding out that there's infinite amount of galaxies. Like what?
Think about it too long, you'll go crazy.
I swear. You start one, I'm like, okay, well, I want to go there. Like, and then you start, then you have $1 billion and then you build a spaceship and then you head to the moon for a test shot.
Thinking about alternate
Crazy
reality
people.
and all this other shit.
I thought about, yeah, exactly. Because I've thought about being in a spaceship, leaving the atmosphere, and just looking down. Like, that is wild.
That would stress me out.
That's wild to think about. Like, yo, I'm in space right now.
Nah. I like the concept. Execution wouldn't work for me.
I would
That's
literally
too existential for me. Like,
no, I probably wouldn't make it. I probably would have a heart attack.
That's what I'm thinking. I no. Look, no, nah.
Yeah,
if something go wrong, you gone.
Yeah,
you just lost.
It's over,
and you just have to be with yourself.
That's
until
it.
Yourself is over.
Yo, there's a show, right, called The Expanse on Amazon Prime. It is a beautifully made show. However, it takes place in space, but like a death sentence or just a sentence in general.
They just
it's called
space.
It's called Space. It's like it's called getting spaced, and they literally open up the doors, and bye.
Nah.
And then the way they designed it, I guess from just from science of how everything will work, you would lose breath in a matter of seconds,
mm-hmm.
and then freeze. So you will crystallize, and turn and become like what?
I'm a meteor.
I'm good. Right, exactly. Or you probably just fucking
crumble.
Yep.
Turn to dust.
That's it.
Moon dust.
Like that is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I don't, man. Just thinking about space and just going out there, it freaks me out sometimes.
That's too much for me. That's too much for me.
It freaks me out.
We'll definitely have to talk about that on another episode,
right?
Because I always make the comparison between space and the sea. To me, they're both they're both different, but very similar because you can't breathe in either one of them.
Right.
There may or may not be creatures out there that you can and can't see.
Right.
And we've not explored enough of it to truly know what it is.
Right. In other words, the semi is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, all the people that's deep sea diving and whatnot.
If I can't see past my ankles,
yeah,
I ain't going in the water.
Yeah.
Unless it's a pool. Now, I don't trust things that don't breathe the air that I breathe. I mean, if they have an advantage,
right,
I can't escape.
Yeah, that's true.
It's it's literally like going to another planet when you're in the sea.
Yeah.
It ain't for me. But yeah, we can leave that for another day because that'll take me on a wild journey.
Exploration
mm-hmm.
at its highest form. Like, what does that look like? And then just to travel to get everywhere. But anything else on your mind?
Just excited that we got a podcast.
Yes,
we got a
official
podcast now.
It's official.
Bing, 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 bing.
Hey, thank you guys for listening. Wherever you may be listening to this podcast at, it should be streaming on all platforms, as many platforms as we can get it on. You would see our lovely faces soon. We're working on that. But this is episode 1. We don't have a title.
Inaugural episode.
Inaugural. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. We love the feedback. Please, and we'll definitely take everything into consideration and make this, a home for everybody. Everyone included. No one is excluded when these two gentlemen are around. All right.